Very good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ogoch Kuka Ona. You're welcome. The House of Representatives has passed a resolution urging the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, as well as the Nigerian Communications Commission, to suspend the impending hike in telecommunications tariffs until services improve in the sector. Debating an urgent motion on the issue, lawmakers argued that increasing telecoms tariffs under the current reality amounts to placing additional financial burden on Nigerians for erratic services.
Imperative that the telecommunication company improve on their service delivery for network, which Nigeria have been yearning for in years before embarking on the increase in tariff.
How do you expect them to increase their performance, knowing that prices of virtually all the various indices have increased? I think we'd rather say that the tariff can be increased, but maybe not as much as 50%.
You can't be paying for something you don't enjoy. You will agree with me that services in the telecom industry right now is not at its best. In Nigeria, you have to carry more than one phone. For what reason? So that if the network on one is not good, you have to use the other.
This motion is referred to the Committee on Communication for further legislative action.
The House also called on the federal government to strengthen counter-terrorism operations in Borno State to prevent further insurgent activities, especially in Askira-Uba, Howell Federal Constituency.
Terrorism attack in Howell, Askira-Uba, Chibok, and other parts of Borno State not only threaten the safety and well-being of residents, but also undermine national security and effort towards peace, stability, and development in the Northeast region.
It is high time for us to stem the insecurity in this country and bring it to a total stop. The clamor for state police should be given prompt attention.
Senate is making a push towards robust agricultural activities in Nigeria, being a major contributor to the gross domestic product. It has, in this regard, passed for second reading a bill to amend the Federal Universities of Agriculture Act to enable the establishment of the Federal University of Agriculture in Akwa Ibom State. In the lead debate, sponsor of the bill and Senate leader Okpeyemi Bamidele says the institution will enhance research and innovation as well as accelerate agricultural practice across the country.
Produce socially mature agriculturists with capabilities not only to understand the agricultural need of Nigeria as a nation, but also to exploit existing agro-infrastructure and improve on it to develop new ones.
In another development, Senate has given 1 month to the contractor handling the chamber's renovation to rectify all observed lapses or have the contract terminated following malfunction of the communication system during plenary. The National Assembly is assuring Africa's parliament of its continuous role as leading example in effective legislation that will translate to good governance in the continent. This was re-echoed during the opening of a capacity workshop on effective utilization of constituency development funds for better quality representation for members of the Ugandan Parliament. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that it was organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies.
Nigeria and Uganda have similarities in their parliamentary system of government. In 2024, the NILs hosted members of the opposition party of Ugandan Parliament on good governance, and now the Committee on Budget is here for exchange of ideas and knowledge sharing on utilizing constituency development funds.
In Uganda currently, there is nothing like a constituency support fund direct to the constituency. All funds are managed by executive, and they make interventions according to how the executive feels, and that causes some inequalities in some of the areas.
As you embark on this 5-day training, mine is a brief word of encouragement to take full advantage of the expertise and insights that will be shared. Let this be an opportunity for constructive dialogue, for experience sharing, and strengthening interparliamentary cooperation between Uganda and Nigeria.
The training explores the role of parliamentarians in constituency development funds management and oversight, anti-corruption measures, and accountability mechanisms in constituency development funds execution, among others.
I must, however, point out that a key component of a constituency relation is the Constituency Development Fund, which plays a crucial role in grassroots development by enabling legislatures to finance and implement community-driven projects.
The Ugandan Parliament is expected to visit their Nigerian counterpart at the National Assembly, as well as visit some constituency projects so as to improve on the overall governance of their nation. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Now, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has signed the amended bilateral air service agreement, BASAP, between Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, UAE. The agreement was executed during the ICAO Global Implementation Support Symposium, GISS 2025. The special advisor to the Minister of Media and Communications, Tunde Mushud, in a statement notes that the minister signed the agreement during a high-level meeting with the UAE's Minister of Economy, Abdullah bin Tauk Al Mari, in Dubai, aimed at solidifying mutual aviation ties between both countries. The minister further stated that the signing of the amended BASA is a build-up to last year's negotiations, ensuring reciprocal rights for both countries and fostering deeper aviation collaboration, enhanced connectivity with a focus on expanding code share agreements and interlining opportunities for Nigerian airlines. UAE's Minister of Economy lauded Nigeria's aviation minister's commitment to advancing Nigeria-UAE aviation relations. Beyond the BASA agreement, the aviation minister advocated for a review of UAE's visa restrictions on Nigerians, stressing that easing the current conditions would increase passenger traffic on designated routes, benefiting both nations' economies. And similarly, both countries agreed to sign a technical cooperation agreement focusing on capacity building and support in key aviation areas, including safety and regulations, environment, airport facilitation, and security. And now to election matters. Lessons from the Edo and Ondo governorship elections last year will form major aspects in preparing for the Anambra governorship poll November this year. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu and the Office of the Security Advisor gave the assurance at an interagency consultative meeting on election security in Abuja. INEC admitted that little setback was experienced in the area of logistics during the Ondo governorship election and promised to improve.
Our experience in the management of logistics during the last Ondo State governorship election provides the template for future elections. Better coordination in the deployment of security and electoral officials contributed to the early commencement of polls and the peaceful conduct of the election. In spite of the challenging terrain, especially in the riverine areas. The forthcoming governorship election in Anambra State must be similarly well coordinated. Together, we should continue to give Nigerians a happy experience on election day and beyond.
The NSA has assured that the lessons learned from the isolated incidents recorded during the last elections in Edo and Ondo will be vital in refining security strategies ahead of the forthcoming by-elections in some parts of the country, including the governorship election in Anambra State.
This rounds off the first meeting by the INEC with stakeholders in the first quarter of 2025. The 2025 ministerial press briefing has commenced, and the host, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says 2025 is a year of consolidation in which President Tinubu's administration will bring prosperity to the people through set targets, including NEL Fund, healthcare, passports reform, compressed natural gas initiative, national values charter, and infrastructure rebirth. Nigeria, according to the minister, is now a construction site. As such, defense and security, food security are among critical areas receiving desired attention. Ahead of the second anniversary of the current administration, ministers are expected to give updates on government activities in order to promote transparency and accountability. The minister highlighted government's success story on fiscal, economic reforms, foreign exchange, oil and gas reforms, electricity acts, and local government autonomy. The third-party motor insurance is the minimum coverage compulsorily required by law for any vehicle plying Nigerian roads. The Nigerian Police Force on February 1st, 2025 launched a nationwide enforcement of the third-party insurance policy. Susan Eze reports on the situation in Enugu State.
In the directive from the Inspector General of Police, the Enugu State Police Command has commenced enforcement of the policy in the state. Though the command reports appreciable level of compliance, many motorists remain skeptical about the third-party motor insurance as they only acquire it as a pass to avoid harassment at checkpoints.
Stakeholders should be able to sensitize the public, the people to know the benefits first before you talk of enforcement.
With so much to benefit from the third-party motor insurance, such as financial compensation for damages, injuries, or even death in the event of accidents, an insurance operator, Onyeka Okanwoke, however, stresses the need to weed the industry of fake policy vendors and ensure thorough implementation of the process for the benefit of all.
There must be licensed insurance firms. And then those ones that are licensed and the certificate they are issuing must also have a code that can be identifiable. Anybody that gets insurance outside those licensed ones, you should know that it is fake.
Established under the Insurance Act 2003, enforcement of the third-party motor insurance became necessary due to the growing concern over the high number of uninsured vehicles on Nigerian roads and the financial burden placed on accident victims due to lack of coverage. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
We will now be having more updates on this as we link up with Susan in Enugu. Hello, Susan. Yes, she's there. Can you tell us more about the third-party motor insurance and what is the level of understanding of the policy by motorists in Enugu State?
Right, I can categorically tell you, according to the report from the police command in the state, that from the exercise thus far, they have reported that a good number of motorists in Enugu have actually complied with getting the insurance policy. A number of them have the certificate, even though some of them have expired. and those whose owns have been expired have been told to go and renew them. And another thing is that the exercise generally has thrown up some issues and some concerns in Enugu, because since the commencement of this enforcement, conversations have heightened. The people are talking about it. Some are asking questions who do not understand what the third-party motor insurance is all about. And those who have knowledge of it are raising some concerns based on their experiences in the past. Like some of them complain of attitude and treatment by the insurance companies as regards to paying claims. And they are also saying that many people who have the certificates only have it out of necessity as part of vehicle documents, not really that they know what it's all about. So some of the concerns raised by practitioners in town is that, yes, they agree that this enforcement has increased demand for insurance policy in their companies, but they are also concerned that with this increase in demand, there will also be an upsurge in the number of fake vendors on the streets. So they are advising that the National Insurance Commission periodically uploads a list of genuine insurance companies so that people who go to pick up their policies do not fall into the hands of fake vendors. It is also worthy of note that based on the concern by motorists that this may be an opportunity for the enforcers to exploit and intimidate the public. The CP, the Commissioner of Police in Enugu, also set up a monitoring committee that will monitor the officers who are enforcing this exercise to ensure that none of such happens. He has said his command has zero tolerance for extortion or intimidation of the public, and he has warned that officers who fall into this trap will be severely punished. So by and large, enforcement is going on, people are complying, but the advice is that there should be more enlightenment, because many are complying out of fear and the need to keep out of trouble, not necessarily that they understand the benefits therein. So it's catching on in Enugu, and we pray that people will very soon begin to go on their own to pick it out of the benefits and not just out of the need to keep out of trouble.
Very well, Susan, thank you very much for that update on third-party motor insurance in Enugu State. All right, from Enugu we go over to Lagos. Adeola Konmi-Akere is standing by for more reports.
Thank you, Agochukuka. In its quest to reach out to a larger audience in promoting peaceful coexistence worldwide, the Muslim Television Ahmadiyya team was at the NTA 2 Lagos Network Center to solicit support of the largest television network in Africa, a platform which they believe will serve the association's purpose in projecting the nation's rich and diverse cultural heritage globally. Lane Leneke completes the report.
Being the biggest content producer hub in Africa, the Nigerian Television Authority is coordinating its massive content potential to cater to the ever-growing electronic media platforms, and technological innovations is also an area that will drive media content production.
We're very happy to look forward to content sharing.
The Muslim Television Ahmadiyya team is using its platform and that of the NTA to promote peaceful coexistence, cultural and historical prowess in television broadcasting.
A few years ago, we started in Nigeria, and we have to expand it soon. I think that we should continue having the collaboration and cooperation with each other.
We identify NTA as a leading, television authority in Africa, of course, and then we're probably the largest network. So we need to work together because so that we can work together and make sure that our information, gets to the grassroots.
We had spoken about exchange of content. We had spoken about training. But beyond all those, we also know that the issue of world peace is very, very important. And it is one of the ideals that NTA would always like to identify with.
The partnership is expected to generate quality television programs as well as to continually create and improve legislation for funding of societal relevant television production. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
The unveiling of a national single window system by the federal government to streamline trade processes, curb corruption, and recover the over $300 billion yearly revenue leakages has been described by key players as crucial, especially as countries around the world grapple with various economic realities. In this report, Hingino John Adams examines the prospects inherent in the national single window policy.
A World Bank report indicates that inefficiencies at Nigerian ports cost the country over 2.5 trillion naira annually due to delays, administrative bottlenecks, and complex procedures that significantly increase the cost of doing business at the ports compared to other West African countries. This is a sad reality, but the good news is that the National Single Window Policy is designed to tackle the problem as it aims to boost the economy and position Nigeria as a competitive trade hub in Africa to achieve the $1 trillion economy by 2031.
One of the objectives that we have as a team is to reduce turnaround time for cargo in the ports. When you do that, you're reducing the incidences of demurrage, etc. And when you do this, you send a signal to your international partners, and they know that there's efficiency in your ports.
For key players, the reduction in clearance time will have positive impact on businesses.
We have gone to every single agency involved in import and export process and documented the processes they have today. The next step from that is we're going to review those processes with the agencies.
With cost of doing business in Nigerian ports higher than other West African countries, experts believe deployment of the national single window system will reduce cost, thereby making the country's ports more competitive regionally. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
And we are done with our contributions for now. Nationwide will continue with Charles Abba in Makurdi after this break.
I am Oluremi Tinubu.
Nigeria is perched on the treasure trove of solid minerals. Gold, coal, tantalum, tin. But none is more critical to our future, or the world's future, like lithium.
Let's talk about illegal mining operations. What is our strategy?
You could join us in Makurdi. I'm Charles Abba. The Benue State Police Command says it will continue to synergize with other security agencies to ensure safety of lives and property in the state. Commissioner of Police Hassan Habanet harped on this while parading suspects for sundry crimes at the police headquarters in Makurdi. Blessing Omeche Ebute has more.
In recent times, Benue State has experienced relative peace following combined efforts of security operatives. However, there are still pockets of unrest in some areas. Following credible information gathering and community efforts, 10 suspected cultists have been arrested in the Wadata area after a cult clash which resulted to the death of 3 persons.
On Sunday, which is the 9th of February, at about 3:30 p.m., some information was received that for renewed occult activities in the area of Wadata area, where some members of the Black Ask confraternity went for a meeting across the river bank. So, not knowing that the other group, the other cult group, they are having also a meeting there. So when they went there, they clashed together. That resulted to the death of 3 persons, 3 cult members. We are pursuing them from house to house, wherever they are hiding, to smoke them out. We arrested another 5 again, making them 15. We have a total of 15.
Parading the suspects, Commissioner of Police, Benue State, Hassan Yabanet says a suspected child trafficker was also arrested around George Akume Way with a child he adopted from the North Bank area.
So it was a Friday, around 9. My wife called me. I'm in Cross River. So he called me and tell me, say, from that kind 4 o'clock, after this boy come back from school. So he go with him where they say along the road, Lafia Garage, North Bank. So he seated with her. So the boy just said, Mommy, let me go and watch film for where I used to barb head. That just saw the boy left his mother. Before you know, there is another small boy of his mate. They used to play together. He rushed to the mommy. Mommy, do you send Felix? Madam, do you send Felix? He said, no. I didn't see Felix. Felix is watching film. He said, no, he see Felix. Towards somebody taking it to arrest just one side.
Also paraded are suspected oil pipeline vandals and 2 armed robbers. The Benue State Police Command says the cases are being investigated and suspects will soon be charged to court. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
Away from security matters, Benue State Governor Hyacinth Ntalia has unveiled symbols to serve as unique identities and pride of the state. The governor, while performing the unveiling ceremony, commended efforts of the screening committee for living up to their mandate within record time. Elias Itiav reports.
It could be recalled that the State Symbols Committee was inaugurated on 20th January 2025 with the task of screening unique identities for the state, including the state logo, anthem, and flag. 14 days after, the committee is done with the task of screening entries and are here to present their report. Chairman of the screening committee, retired Justice Augustine Osaha, while presenting their final choices, said the initiative of selecting unique identities for the state is long overdue.
The credibility of our screening process was of utmost importance to us. And I am proud to say that we maintain the highest level of integrity and transparency throughout the entire process.
Governor Hyacinth Ntalia, who appreciated the committee for the timely completion of their mandate, said the symbols are important tools for the promotion of the state's identity, heritage, and culture.
We are all under one banner of Benue, and there's no distinction of no religion, not culture, not political party. This is the Benue of our dream.
An executive bill is to be transmitted to the State House of Assembly for passage into law and accent by the governor to become official state symbols. In Makurdi, Elias Itiav, NTA News.
That report rounds off our contribution from Makurdi. Ogochukuka is back to you.
Thank you, Charles. Now, the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development has inaugurated a quadruple ICP-MS laboratory for sample testing in the solid minerals sector. Mia Ogidi reports that the project, co-funded by the Nigerian government and the World Bank, is domiciled in the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency, Abuja.
Because it's not analyzed based on charge and mass.
A major step forward in the solid minerals sector in Nigeria. No more going abroad for sample tests. Nigeria now has ICP-MS laboratory at Nigeria Geological Survey Agency, set to analyze variety of liquid and solid samples.
Up until now, as we talk, most of our samples from Nigeria are taken outside Nigeria to laboratories outside Nigeria, and we are charged at exorbitant rates in dollars and in pound sterling, and yet we cannot price them. We just need to pay. And by this, Nigerians, we have lost a lot of billions of dollars to this. And this is why NGSA at this point is coming to salvage this situation.
I, as an individual and my research team, have spent over $60,000 analyzing samples from those foreign labs in the last 2 years. The acquisition of equipment like this, whether for data generation or for mineral analysis, will go a very long way to improve our image in the international community.
Permanent Secretary Mary Ogbe, standing in for Minister Dele Alake. And for him, beyond the excitement, there is need for diligence.
Take this equipment as a trust that you are holding for your children. Do not handle it like the normal is government property, is nobody's property. It's not enough for us to come here this morning and commission it. We want to hear that in another 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, it's still working. And that you can make happen by the diligent way that you handle this machine.
The ICP-MS laboratory makes research easier for undergraduate students, generate revenue for the government, and simplify activities in the solid minerals sector. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
The federal government has commenced the process of revising the national monitoring and evaluation policy to align with President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. NECA reports that when finalized, the review will not only strengthen good governance, but also reduce interagency rivalry on roles and responsibilities.
It was a day of intense brainstorming and collaboration as stakeholders from various MDAs met to revise the national monitoring and evaluation policy. The current policy, approved in 2022, had served as a guiding framework for government at all levels to conduct monitoring and evaluation practices. But with the ever-evolving complexities of socioeconomic challenges facing the country, a revision was deemed necessary.
In essence, it is actually a framework for ensuring that every naira spent on national development delivers maximum value and translates into measurable deliverables and improvements in the lives of citizens.
The gaps, most especially that we find that institutions complain of late releases of funds, but eventually those funds are released. So there's a kind of setback on achieving their aims and objectives.
Her sentiments were echoed by other stakeholders who stressed the need for a more robust framework for M&E practices.
It is to reinforce the institutionalization of the national monitoring and evaluation system, ensuring that development policy programs and projects are data-driven and impactful.
Enhancing the practices, the revised policy is expected to drive better development outcomes, ensuring that government programs and projects are transparent, accountable, and people-oriented. In Abuja, NECA, NTA News.
It is good news for young Nigerians seeking entrepreneurial opportunities as the federal government has unveiled the long-awaited national policy on skills development in both formal and non-formal education. Stakeholders describe this as a game-changing initiative that will enhance versatility in the sector. Zenred Digmu reports that implementation of the policy is set to begin in September 2025.
Imagine a Nigeria where every individual is equipped with a skill and there is at least one person to meet every economic need in the country. With this policy now in place, achieving the educational goals of the Renewed Hope agenda appears closer than ever. The initiative focuses on 4 key areas: foundational literacy and numeracy, transferable skills, digital skills, and job-specific skills. These components will be implemented in stages through a structured, inclusive, and gender-sensitive approach, integrated with green skills to ensure that graduates' competencies align with labor market demands.
We must be proactive in anticipating these changes and adapting our skills development strategies accordingly.
It is built on the understanding that human capital is our greatest resource and that investing in skill development is an investment in our nation's future.
Our roles as educators is to synthesize this knowledge and skills that children and young people need.
It's essential that we don't forget that skills also build individuals that enable them to thrive in societies, they contribute back to societies.
The policy covers children and young Nigerians between the ages of 3 and 24 years, addressing both developmental and humanitarian contexts. In Abuja, Zenred Dingmun, NTA News.
We'll now cross over to our Maiduguri Network Center, where Abubakar Musa has the next set of reports. Hello, Abubakar, you are on.
It's always good to see you, Ogochukuka, and thank you for joining us. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has reiterated his administration's commitment to sponsoring more indigents to study medicine and allied health courses at the Federal University of Health Sciences, Fusa Azari, Bauchi State. The governor restated his commitment when he received the governing council of the institution, led by its pro-chancellor and chairman of the council, Professor Samuel Babatunde Adejare, at the Government House, Maiduguri. Harris Mohammed Guni with the rest of the story.
The Federal University of Health Sciences Azare was established in 2021 and commenced academic activities in 2022 to bridge the existing gap in healthcare personnel need in the country. Governor Zulum, who doubles as the chairman Northeast Governors Forum, applauded efforts of the council, vice chancellor and other management staff at uplifting the institution, assuring the council of continued support.
So there is a need for the government of the sub-region to support this institution so that the institution will produce more graduates that can fill the existing gaps in our health facilities.
Professor Zulum said Borno State government will continue to fill its admission quota and express need to increase budgetary allocation for the institution to address the challenges confronting it. Chairman Governing Council of the institution, SB Adejari, appreciated Governor Zulum for the 50 million naira donation to the institution, which had enabled the university procure laboratory equipment, making it one of the best in the country, hence named the laboratory after Governor Zulum.
Your Excellency, sir, since the inception of our university, your government has demonstrated exceptional partnership and visionary leadership. Today, we are here not only to commend your generosity, but to formally recognize the transformative impact of your intervention on our institution's growth and the future of healthcare education in Nigeria.
Adejari also sought further intervention of Governor Zulum in providing patrol vehicles and security gadgets, as lack of perimeter fence has made the institution vulnerable to incursion by intruders. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Koni, NTA News.
And still on issues that have to do with education, the call for federal government to prioritize funding for education and research in line with international best practices to enhance human capital development took center stage at the second International Conference on Sustainable Development Goals in Maiduguri. The event, organized by the Faculty of Management Sciences, University of Maiduguri, brought together participants from academia within and outside Borno State. Umar Jumbarima has more on the story.
The conference was alive with engaging discussions on critical topics poised to drive Sustainable Development Goals initiatives forward, offering fresh perspectives for a brighter future. Guest paper presentation on the transformative power of the SDGs sparked optimism, highlighting pathways to national revitalization and progress.
And I hope that even after 2030, developing countries will continue to implement, because if you look at the points, is to end poverty, zero hunger, quality education, good health, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. They are still very relevant. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. We are in need of them.
Chinedu Igwe, representing the NNPCL, reaffirmed the cooperation's commitment to sustainability initiatives that promote environmental stewardship, social responsibility, and economic growth nationwide. Speaking on behalf of the state governor, the Borno State Head of Service emphasized that leveraging sustainable goals is crucial for expanding economic opportunities and developing solutions for the future, noting that this aligns with Borno's ongoing efforts to recover from past challenges. This year's conference emerged as a pathway for SDGs implementation, both locally and internationally, while paving the way for a more sustainable future. In Maiduguri, Omar Jembarima, NTA News.
You're on to Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority. We have another set of stories for you from our Benin Network Center with Udwak, but that will be right after this break.
It has 7 features. The Black Shield stands for Good Earth of Nigeria. The silver wavy band stands for the confluence of rivers Niger and Benue. The 2 white horses stands for dignity. The yellow flora is a common wildflower throughout Nigeria. The red eagle stands for strength. The wreath is in our national colors of green, white, green. The motto.
Watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Benin. Edo State government says it will only engage contractors with proven records in executing government projects. This was during the first quarterly stakeholders meeting involving the State Ministry of Works, the State Public Buildings and Maintenance Agency, as well as the State Project Implementation and Monitoring Department, in line with the governor's desire to sanitize the built environment. Goodluck Enaini tells us more.
Key objectives of the engagement is to ensure infrastructural projects, including roads, public buildings, and facilities, are not only contracted, but also monitored and evaluated in line with international best practices, and these will promote sustainable infrastructural development plans. Special Advisor to the Governor on Project Implementation and Monitoring Department, Ufoma Bello, gave insights on the mandate of Governor Monday Okpawolo in that regard.
With time, we are going to bring in the contractors and then probably the end users so that we can get their feedback also. Those feedbacks we will get from the end users, we'll put it into consideration, brainstorm again, and then push it for the next year. So it's continuous.
The meeting deliberated on the key issues that will enhance quality delivery. John Obano is the Permanent Secretary at the State Ministry of Works.
What we're having is like a family forum that will help us come out with better standard, better quality, better output. And at the end of the day, I believe the synergy will be impressive.
The quarterly meeting will hold regularly to drive infrastructural development and promote sustainable growth, even as the governor clocks the first 100 days in office. In Benin, Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
And talking health, ensuring good health for Nigerians, especially those in rural communities, is part of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is why the federal government, through the Ministry of Regional Development, has held a 1-week free medical treatment in Auchi for residents in the 18 local government areas of the state. Victor Odion Acha reports that various ailments were treated and referrals also made in some cases during the outreach.
The 1-week medical treatment by the Ministry of Regional Development with a target of treating 5,000 people of different ailments in the state. According to the statistics released so far, about 1,021 people have consulted with 967 patients in outpatient units, 679 eye sessions with 531 getting free eyeglasses, 42 had cataract surgeries, 21 pterygium operation, 170 dental consultation with 254 dental procedure and 365 laboratory investigations. 34 general surgeries of different diseases have also been carried out, and 11 fibroid operation, as well as spontaneous delivery.
Good one. While we're thanking the president for appointing him as the honorable minister, we thank God for giving him the wisdom to initiate this program.
The Minister of Regional Development, Abubakar Momo, represented by the Director of Community Development and Education, Festus Wassa, said the program will be taken around the 6 geopolitical zones of the country in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
The Ministry of Regional Development has embarked on various initiatives in the health sector
which include construction and equipping healthcare centers, medical programs, outreach programs, enlightenment and sensitization programs.
I did this yesterday around 5, but for now I can stand, I can do anything. I'm alive today. To thank the doctors that they did it safely, no record of death. I received a very professional attention.
There were goodwill messages from traditional rulers and stakeholders present in Auchi. Victor Odion Acha, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's back to Ogochukwuka Ona in Abuja for continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Duak, from our Benin Network Center. Now, Bauchi State Police Command has paraded 5 suspected vandals of electricity supply cables alongside 3 suspects alleged to have raped some girls, including a minor. Muazu Hassan tells us more.
Suspected electricity vandals arrested are 16 years old Aliyu Musa, 17 years old Hamza Muhammad, and 18 years old Mustafa Saidu alongside their buyer Al-Amin Ibrahim at Rafin Temberi in Bauchi Metropolis, while a 30 years old Aliyu Inusa was also arrested in Kirfi local government area.
One receiver was arrested and the investigation is still ongoing. After the conclusion of the investigation, we are going to charge them to court.
There is disruption of power, sometimes not just for a short period of time, for a long period of time.
The command has also paraded one Shehu Isa of 44 years of age from Soro town of Ganjo local government area for alleged rape of 5-year-old girl. Hassan Ishaya from Ogoro local government for raping a 15-year-old girl. And Shafi Usule suspected to have raped a minor in Jimmy village. The Bauchi State Command has assured that it will continue to work against any act of crime in collaboration with other security agencies. In Bauchi, Muaz Hassan, NTA News.
And next is Sports Update with Gift George.
Nigeria's under-20 men's football team, the Flying Eagles, have resumed camp in Abuja ahead of the 2025 CAF Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. Coach Aliyu Zubairu is in charge of the players' training sessions at the FIFA Goal Project, Package B of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. Nigeria go into the competition as back-to-back champions of the FEB Under-20 tournament. The competition holds from April 26th to May 8, 2025. With 12 countries qualified to take part, the teams will seek qualification for the FIFA Under-20 Men's World Cup, scheduled for Chile. The 4 semi-finalists automatically qualify to represent Africa at the FIFA Under-20 Men's World Cup. In grassroots football, Chairman of the Badagry Divisional Football Association, Osondo Martins, while addressing football stakeholders of the community ahead of the 2025-26 season, has explained that there will be football leagues for grassroots teams, women, elite clubs, as well as scouting and camping programs for talented youth. While a multi-purpose stadium is expected to commence construction this year, this is said as some of the strategies to grow the game and achieve youth development.
With these stadiums, which the contractor has started working in the space of 2-3 years, but that we have at least minimum of 2 standard stadiums that we can call our own. Our children, our youth can go there and give their best and express their career.
In other news, as part of activity to keep the public fit and healthy, Subde Ola has organized a Keep Fit exercise for members of the public tagged Fit for Power. The event, which is the first, had over 100 people participating in aerobics.
Exercise goes a long way, makes us, fit, and that's why we tagged it as Fit for Power.
See, I've done 2 laps of the stadium, and I'm feeling healthy and I'm feeling happy.
On the foreign scene, the 5th round of the English FA Cup matches have been drawn. The fixture shows that Preston will host Burnley, Aston Villa welcomes Cardiff City, Manchester United takes on Fulham in an all-Premier League affair, Crystal Palace meets Millwall, Newcastle squares up against Brighton in another Premier League battle, while Bournemouth faces Wolves, amongst other matches. With Sports Update, Gift George, NTA News.
Thank you, Gift, and that's Nationwide today. Many thanks for watching. Good afternoon.